welcome to Ada's Diaries. If you're a new joiner and you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Ada Adetunji. And to my all-time favorite viewers and subscribers, welcome back, guys. Today's episode is centered around questions and answers. I mean, a couple of my friends want to know more about me. If you'll be interested to find out how I answered all these questions, stay tuned, guys, and the girl will be right back. Okay, guys, the girl is back and it is time to dive right into the questions. So I reached out to my friends. They were supposed to ask whatever questions, no restrictions. I mean, look at that. They were just firing me questions left, right, and center. I mean, I'm going to be answering all these questions, so help me God. Okay, so let's get going, guys. The first question here is it true that military men should never lay hands on their wives? My darling, it is not good for any man to raise hands on their wives. I mean, this also has a lot to do with how people are being raised. I really don't generalize things like this, yeah. So to a larger extent, I also know that these military men are disciplined and they are almost not around. So most times when they are home, they wouldn't want to turn their homes into a battlefield, but this necessarily doesn't mean that there won't be some nasty ones in there. But I really do not give excuses for any man, be you in the military, be you in the civil war, to lay hands on their wives. I mean, if you want to show your power, go out there and wrestle now, start making money, go and fight fury. Yes, if you want to show that you're strong. Moving on to the next question. Is it true that military wives have a rank in the army like the captains, like the major, like the colonel? Okay, so traditionally, yes, this is what is obtainable. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the military pays us salary. A wife is a rank her husband's senior, and this is because the husband's cosmates are supposed to accord her some respect they would to a senior officer. So it doesn't come with some financial gains, yeah. Okay, so I have a question now. During the do, is it military doings or civilian doings? My darling, it is a combination of both. So it depends on your mood. Sometimes you want to go harder, baby. Okay, so sometimes you want to go faster, you want to go the military way, fast, and sometimes you want to go all quiet, all subtle. Study shoot gun. No, my brother, I don't know how to shoot gun. I wish to learn, but I'm not licensed to handle guns, so I don't know how. How do you cope with his absence in raising the kids in terms of instilling discipline? My darling, this one is a very tough one. Like, the father, I'm the mother, I'm everything these children know. It's not as if they don't talk to their father. It's not as if they don't reach out to him. Fewer times when he comes, he wants to make it look all fun for them, you know. So sometimes these children really see me as a very wicked person. They want all shouting and correcting and trying to, you know, talk sense into them. So what I have done is sometimes this can actually be really overwhelming. So I've registered with a couple of parent coaches. I'm in groups for intentional parenting, and sometimes too, when I feel there's a new character or habits a child is displaying, I try to reach out to my friends that have older children to find out how they've been able to, you know, cope with all of that. I also have senior mentors, people that have been able to, you know, pass through these phases. They have children in higher institution. I also have some friends that were military children. You know, sometimes I try to reach out to them to find out, you know, how it was during their own time. And I don't just keep quiet, actually. So it's not an easy one, but to the best of my abilities, I try my best. And my mom too is always, that woman is a very strong woman. I reach out to my mom a lot. I also talk to these children. I mean, sometimes I try to find out what they actually want. Like, what is your problem, child? I know sometimes they see me like a very wicked person. Sometimes they see me as in fact, if you wake them up in the middle of the night, they will tell you they prefer their father. They love their father more than they love me. But do I really care? If you do anyhow, you go collect. That is the standard here. Okay, so moving on. Are military men romantic? Questions like this, you know, this thing called romance, it's according to how someone is being raised. So let me just give it to them 60%, because sometimes my husband can be really annoying, and sometimes he is all loving, and sometimes, you know, I think he's very particular about men, you know. let's give it to them. Let's give it to them 60%. Yeah, he tries. He's romantic, but sometimes that their training gets into them and they want to act all tough, and he hardly apologizes. I mean, how do you handle tension when he's working in high risk area? My darling, this particular question, I really don't wish this for my enemy. I mean, you know, they are the ones at the battlefield and you are the one here fighting some unforeseen battles. You hardly sleep at night. Sometimes you just wake up with a couple of premonitions, something would have gone wrong. I imagine being a widow a couple of times. Sometimes I wish, can he even live? Aside this military, what can we even do? It's a lot traumatizing. I mean, the years he spent in Northeast, I would tell you that it was as if we were literally together. I felt every bit of what was not happening there. When I did not even develop high BP, I won't develop it again, because most times when you see me at night, I roll on my bed, I pray, I talk to people, and I don't know, it's a lot of trauma, my darling. Okay, so what are the pros of living in the barracks? Baby girl, I'm developing a full content on this. It's going to be loading soon, so let me not divulge everything. But you know what will happen? Let me just share a little with you. You know these noises that come different churches in a street. You get to see 20 churches, 30 churches just in a street. Inside the barracks here, we have just one Catholic church, one Protestant church, and a mosque. So you can imagine how those evangelism, those intruding, preaching, and all of that is really minimized. It's not as if I don't like churches, though. But when you want to do all those preaching and all that, make it as discreet as possible. This is my own view. So I also have other pros and other cons that I'll be unleashing to you very soon. Sometimes it could be really interesting. Trust me, it's going to wow you. Okay, so moving on. How do you manage admirers? How do you manage admirers? I don't know. People admire you, say thank you, you wait from far, you have friends. Once you're a human being, people would admire you. So really nothing wrong in people admiring you, but it's just for you to create boundaries, you know, as regards to what someone wants in you. That's all. So I create a lot of boundaries when it comes to admirers. Okay, so moving on. Has your husband ever discussed his experience shooting people with you? Nope, he hasn't. And I'm not sure he's ever going to discuss those experiences with me. I don't even want to know. So how many people has he murdered and sent to their early graves? My darling, I don't know. All I know is that under Constitution, he's licensed to use gun, and he's been trained to gun down bad guys to secure you and I. So if he's doing that to secure the nation, to secure you, to secure me, who are we to start digging up things? So we better let it lie how it is. All right? Okay, so I trust him to shoot the bedroom gun the same way he shoots the military gun. It depends on the gun you're thinking about. Or is it the one that goes tack, 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 or the ones that goes tack, you attack and defend? So it depends, and it's a combination of all of those. Sometimes you want to rush him, and sometimes I just stop being silly. Okay, so how to shoot it really well. Different guns, actually, different. Okay, so I meant to say, sometimes are you afraid he might get hurt? Yes, most times I am. I'll just have this premonition that something is not going on well, especially when he's a place where you can't really reach him. He's the only one that would be able to reach you in a couple of months, you know. So yes, most times I feel that way. And imagine him not talking to you in a week, in 2 weeks, and you're wondering what would have gone wrong. So it can be really depressing, my darling. Okay, how do you double being a mom and a dad at the same time, since most times he's on duty? I try my best. I reach out to mentors, I reach out to friends, I reach out to coaches. I scream when I want to scream. I'm a referee, I'm everything. So I don't really want, I think I pressure myself into trying to get it all right. But one thing I know for sure is I don't hold any expectation for my child. I just pray and cancel and hope they get it well. So I am not all perfect, and I don't want them to see me as Mrs. Perfect. So I try not like let them be children and do what they're supposed to do as kids. They do make mistakes, we correct. Okay, so another question here is, how do you cope with intimacy when he returns? Do you just dive at it, or is it step by step something? My darling, how can someone ever dive into it? As in, you have your mind to prepare, because your guy is not around. Your mind would have gone out, you're already dry or rusty down there. You get what I mean? So sometimes when he's coming home, except when he wants to really surprise me or all of that, I tend to prepare my mind, soul, body, everything is one step at a time. As in, I start prepping myself, talking to my mind. My mind is coming out back, and there's going to be bedmatics. You get what I mean? So it's a step-by-step something, you know. Nobody just dives into it. You need to prepare, you know, do a lot of body work, you know, and look all pretty and saucy. So it's step by step. So it starts with the mind, then down to the body. So are both of you from the same place? No, I'm one Igbo, full-fledged Igbo from Imo State, and my husband is a Yoruba man from Oshu State. So okay, so I've answered. Would you want your daughter to marry a military man? If you had asked me this question a couple of years ago, I would give you a straight up answer: nope. Now, do I still want her to marry a military man? I will still say no. Eventually, if it happens, would I say no to her? I might try to talk some sense into her. But then if her mind is all made up, I can only counsel and mentor from afar. At least I've learned some things basically from experience, and I'll be able to guide her through, compared to myself that started as a rookie, as a novice, and was all depressed and frustrated. She's not going to go through all those loopholes. Yeah, so if she wants, yes, but do I want? No, categorically. Everyone deserves the companionship that comes with marriage. That's my own view about marriage. Okay, will you say you are happy in your marriage? If you had asked me this question a couple of years ago too, my response would be straight up no. Not because I don't love my husband, or not because he's tormenting me or not treating me well, but because I didn't really know about the military. I didn't know what was involved being a military wife, you know, so it was kind of frustrating at the beginning. But now I am 150% happy because I've learned to cope with being lonely, or I've learned how to deal. Actually, what advice do you have for other military wives? Okay, so I have different advices for different category of wives. So I would say the newbies and the oldies. For the newbies, I've done a whole episode for them. There's bound need for you to really, you know, discuss a lot of things with your husband, especially where you want to be stationed, as regards finances and how to take care of the children. Then for the oldies, I mean, learn to trust your husband more. Learn to enjoy every moment in your marriage. I mean, live every day like it's going to be your last, and enjoy every moment with him together. Yes, I think that's what I have to say. Okay, so as a military wife, how do you cope with sexual urges when Oga goes away for too long? You see this particular question, if 100 people reached out to me with their questions, about 50 to 60% of those numbers were actually keen on finding out how I cope with sexual urges. And it's really funny because a girl is not after this, that, but I'm a human being, right? So over the years I've learned to cope. I would say I've learned to deal. I have a lot of distractions. I do 9 to 5. I have side businesses. I have some businesses I've also set up for myself in the course of the years. I'm a student. I've been schooling round the clock. Then I have TV children, you know, distracting me. Sometimes when I get back, I also look into their works, and I have a toddler child too that sleeps. And sometimes you see these children sleeping in my room. So I don't know, what would you do if you were me? So sometimes my mind does not even go there, but because I'm human, sometimes when the feeling gets very, very overwhelming, I cry, I pray, I sing, I read books, I read hymn. Yes. Then I also call my husband on video calls. You don't want to know what we do in that video. Okay, so one day I will invite you to stay on with me so that you find out what we do in the video, if that would work. Okay, so moving on to the next questions. Where, when, and how did you meet your husband? Babe, you see this question, I am building a whole episode around it. It is going to be a blockbuster. I would advise you to sit down, cross your leg, and wait. Just one tinini. Patience, it's girl. I am going to release it soon, and it promises to wow you. As you're listening to my story like this, your jaw will drop. you begin to ask yourself a couple of questions. So hold on, girl. I'm going to be promising you, as soon as the episode is ready, I will tag you. In fact, I will send the link particularly to you first, so that you'll be first to watch it before any other person. So guys, I've been able to answer most of these questions, and I think we should have another episode, maybe part 2, part 3. If you're here and you feel there are still questions you have in your mind to ask me, feel free, reach out to me via Instagram at Adawell Trends, or if you're my friend on WhatsApp, you might want to drop your questions on WhatsApp, and a girl will answer all those questions. New joiners, hopefully you've been able to click on the subscribe button down there, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you'll be first to get the videos as soon as it drops. And to my all-time favorite subscribers, to my all-time favorite viewers, thank you guys. This is how much I love all of you. So till the next episode drops, guys, I still remain your girl.